Hey, welcome to my channel. I found this guy this week. And why is it so important to me? Because this was the gift I received after I finished my elementary school. And then I continued my journey, musical journey. And it reminded me on my precious teachers that I had there. At that time, it was really small music school, really small. I think there were, I don't know, I can't say for sure, but I think 5 or 6 teachers. And when I was there, I think it was 2 years ago. Uh, it's this big school with so many heart open teachers, and they made such a concert. I was completely in awe. And now I was thinking about it, because I was born in a village, in a very small place, and we had a farm at home, and my mother and my father, and they are these hard workers, and though they had these jobs, working class family, they had jobs, they came home, we ate lunch, and then they were working at the field. And I remember how many years I was actually not able to speak about that. Why? Because there was this hidden shame. Because I was studying music. I wanted to go into this, and I'm still completely in, it's my profession now. But at that time, there was this shame, that if you come from this kind of environment, it's almost, you can't be this and that. And imagine now that I would listen to these voices, and imagine now that I would get stuck in that story. And then the second thing that was also connected to that, I was thinking again, and I said, from the beginning, when I started my meditations, or when I was in therapy, because I tried many different therapies, and if I would do it again, now I would know exactly what to take, what supports me, and what doesn't bring any result for me. And I still remember that it was the same thing, shame, not telling anyone. Why? Because if you say that you're going to therapy at that time, would mean, oh my God, something is wrong with me. Imagine that people would hear about that. But then imagine that I wouldn't do that. Years of first therapies and now meditations, and I'm really, my awareness is on a completely different level than it was. Imagine me now and me then. Now I'm able to take responsibility for my own life, for what I'm thinking, for how I behave, for how I speak to myself and to others. I became much better mother. I became much better musician. I became much better person, especially to myself, and of course, as a result, to others around me. So now I'm speaking up, especially for myself, because I had enough for quite some time ago, this hidden shame. And how should I be? It's like almost living this double life, When I'm in front of this person, I am going to say this. When I'm there, this. No, that's me now. It's oneness is wholeness. And I'm no longer ashamed. It's the opposite. I'm so proud of myself that I went through all this journey. So that now when I'm triggered from the outside, that it's not any longer putting, oh, it's your responsibility, it's your fault, I'm not I can't live my dreams because of this and that. And the message for me was, it's never too late. That's again one thing, one story, that it can be so easy to just, oh, it's too late for me now. Or, it was too late for me then, because no one in my family was a musician. So I didn't start at age of 4 or 5 or 6. And this was my burden for years. And I have so much compassion towards myself, because at some point I could see, now, why am I still putting so much of my focus and energy into this, how it was not, instead of how now I want it to be. My language from the beginning, I was much better at speaking with animals, because we had so many animals at home. And we have this beautiful forest behind my parents' house. And I couldn't be now more happy and grateful that I was raised in this environment, and proud of my parents. And when my father had his 70 years birthday, it was lovely, because there was a party, and it's a village, and neighbors really get along so beautiful. They really help one another. And there was a neighbor, and he said, you know what, your father, once he decided, he saw one other guy that really lived in a situation that was impossible, in the house that it was impossible. And your father, so my father and my mother, decided that they will just get people together, and they built this man a new house in this village. And then I thought, I never actually thought about this, because there is always was this illusion, how I should, how it should be as a musician, how blah blah blah. But through all this work on myself, now I'm willing to see this, because that for me is courage, that for me is love, that for me is a person who is not just living for himself or herself, but who has this natural generosity and willingness to help others, and at the same time also be open to receive help when needed. So that's my story for today. Especially, at the end, I'm saying this also to myself, especially to myself. I don't want to give any advice, it's not at all, because I am too aware of what that means. If you want to give advices, but first I want to live this, let's say, advice by myself. But today I have this, it's never too late. It's not too late, it's just about, where am I putting my focus today? And once maybe some old stories, some old voices starts to get loud, I'm still choosing to make steps that are in alignment with me, and I'm dedicated to listen to myself at every possible moment of this day and the days that are going to follow. All the best.